Greetings, everyone. I just wanted to talk about Control Warrior in Wild today. One of the reasons is because a typical drawback for Control Warrior is that they don't have a lot of card advantage or card draw. And there has been two cards released in the past year that actually really help Warrior with this and make it so that we don't run out of juice and are able to keep up with our opponent's plays. And so the two cards for that we're talking about. The first one is this card called Outrider's Axe, which is a 4-mana 3/3 weapon that says that after you attack with it and kill an opponent's minion, you draw a card. So if you use this correctly, it could be a 4-mana draw 3, destroy 3 minions. Now, of course, it's not instantaneous, but in this case, we don't really need it to be instantaneous, and so it can be over a couple of different turns. And so this is actually now a very powerful tool in Control Warrior that will allow us to gain a lot of card advantage. The second card I want to talk about is Stonemaul Anchorman. So this is a 5-mana 4/6 minion with Rush and Frenzy, draw a card. So this is kind of similar to the previous card that I was talking about, where it can give us a lot of card advantage in the sense that it is a Rush minion, which is arguably one of the best forms of removal in Hearthstone, because it has the ability to leave a body on your side of the battlefield after you use it. And in this case, it has the added advantage of drawing you a card. And just to add some little extra card advantage in there, since Stonemaul Anchorman is a pirate, I added the Ancharrr weapon, as well as a Captain Greenskin, so I can have 3 pirates in the deck to draw off of it. So in this case, you can play the Ancharrr, draw 2 pirates off of it, potentially one of them being the Stonemaul Anchorman, and you get more card advantage from that. Now, the rest of the deck is a pretty standard control deck with standard warrior removal spells. Minefield is really good in this deck since we don't use a lot of minions. And something like Heavy Plate is nice in this case because it can either be used to heal yourself per se, so you don't die to damage, but it's also tradable, and so you can basically use it as a cantrip if you want. And finally, I have a Galakrond in the deck to act as a sort of win condition, but you'll see that it might not actually be necessary. If you watch the 3 games I'm showcasing after this, you'll see that the opponents typically concede once they run out of things to play. I was also actually experimenting with some other win conditions, and so you'll see one of the games has some dragons in it as well. Now, a main drawback of this deck is that it will lose to combo decks, basically. You don't have the ability to outrace them with damage, and so if you're going up against something like Cthulhu Druid, you can't really do too much to them. They'll have enough answers to the minions that you have in your deck, and so that they can just kind of combo off. Same thing if you're going against like an Exodia Mage as well. And with that, let's move on to the showcase games I have prepared. And if you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. So the only advice that I can really give for mulliganing for this deck is that if you think you're going up against an aggro deck, try to mulligan for low cost removal so you do not die in the early game. In this case, I think I'm fighting a secret mage, and so that's why I'm mulliganing out the Greenskin to try to find some more removal. And so here, I draw my favorite card in the whole deck, the Outrider's Axe, and I'm actually going to start a counter for how much card advantage I get from this single card. And so, of course, I equipped it, destroy my opponent's minion, and draw a card from it. So all in all, things are going well. And so in this next turn here, I can actually showcase really well how much card advantage we can gain now as Control Warrior, because I get my second minion destruction with the Outrider's Axe and draw a card from it, as well as use the Stonemaul Anchorman to all 3, destroy an opponent's minion, draw a card, and also leave a body on my side of the field afterward. So a potential drawback about this deck is that there's not a lot of hard removal in Warrior. So you might find yourself in situations where you have to use multiple removal spells for a single minion. So in this case, I use 3 removal spells to destroy 2 minions. I probably could have played this better, but this is a common trope amongst Control Warrior, which is why the added card advantage that we're getting is very helpful. So here I destroy my 3rd and final minion with the Outrider's Axe and draw a 3rd card. So that was 3 destroyed minions and 3 cards drawn from 1 card. So that's a +5 in card advantage. So again, just the Outrider's Axe is one of my favorite cards right now in Control Warrior, just because of how much card advantage it gives you. So here I just kind of want to talk about the Warrior Hero Power, which is very good for a control deck. Of course, it's tapped to gain 2 armor. And so in this case, from here on out, I'm going to try to hero power every single turn, because since I'm fighting a secret mage, they can deal a lot of damage from the hand. So this is kind of where the hero power can come in handy. And of course, since it's armor, you can use a preventative. So of course, if you have extra mana, always make sure to hero power so you don't get caught by surprise. So just kind of a funny moment here for me. During the game, there was actually a large lack of situational awareness on my part here, and I actually thought I was fighting a secret mage the whole time, but I didn't notice that they weren't playing any duplicates. So this is actually a Reno mage with a strong secret mage core to it, basically. So one of my favorite board wipes to use in Control Warrior is Bladestorm, which is a very good removal spell if your opponent plays a lot of copies of minions or a lot of minions with similar health. So in this case, I can destroy 3 of my opponent's minions with just 1 card. So that's very nice. And here my opponent has one last push. They fill their board, which I clear with a Brawl. And then my opponent runs out of juice and concedes, and we win. Okay, so now we are up against a big demon hunter, it seems. And so, of course, the first thing I want to highlight is, again, the Outrider's Axe, just because, again, it just gives us so much card advantage here, destroying my opponent's minion and drawing a card. So in the previous game, I talked about Bladestorm being good if your opponent goes wide with a lot of creatures with similar health. But it is also very good as hard removal for single big creatures, which is very helpful in this matchup against Big Demon Hunter, as I can destroy their 9 health demon with just a single Bladestorm. And of course, hard removal is kind of hard to come by in Warrior. So Bladestorm being a situational hard removal is actually very helpful. So actually, in this case, I just want to highlight a cheeky play my opponent made, where he played Loremaster Cho and put a Philosophy in my hand that I can't really use because I don't have any demons. Kind of a minor play, but it made me smile. And then after removing some of my opponent's big demons, they decide to concede and not play out the rest of the game. And so for the last game I wanted to showcase for this deck is going up against a discard Warlock. In this case, this first play here actually really highlights some of the powerful early game removal Control Warrior has. Here with Man the Cannons, I'm able to wipe 3 of the minions off of the board, which is very helpful in this case against a discard Warlock because they have the 0 mana summon a 5/5 if they have at least 5 minions on the board. Here, I just wanted to highlight again the sheer card advantage gained from Stonemaul Anchorman, where in this case I play him, remove an enemy's minion, draw a card, as well as leave a body on the battlefield for tempo for me. So one of the drawbacks of this deck is that sometimes it's a little bit difficult to pilot if you're not paying full attention, so I actually make a pretty bad misplay here, where my intent was to Shield Bash and then Bladestorm, but I forgot to realize I did not have any armor, so the Shield Bash didn't do anything. So, of course, just pay attention and do your math right, and everything should be fine. And finally, in typical discard Warlock fashion, they draw themselves out and concede, allowing us to win. Well, thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you all have a great day.